Alright guys, here's a little video on the install of the Tron lights. Got the tubes here. Used the silicone sealant. Already placed a thin bead. Just takes a really thin bead along the whole edge of the rim here. You see, start on one side of the valve, about 1 inch out. Go all the way around, and then you're going to end on about 1 inch away from the other side. All right. Just going to slide these inside here. Figure out which direction that you want your lights to go. The side with the power is the side that's going to send the lights, so that'll determine your direction. So I'm going to start this way here on the inside, and what I'm going to do, I want to put this on last, so I'm just going to roll this up. So that way that wire doesn't touch any of the silicone sealant as I'm rolling it on. So I just placed the silicone sealant on about a minute ago, right before I started this video. I figured didn't need to see all of that. All right, let's see. I usually will put another little bead right here on the tip. And then you're just going to go around the rim, putting the bead through the middle of the strip. And just kind of take it slow. It really doesn't take a whole lot of this stuff. And it's going to adhere to the rim. I usually let it cure. I would say at least 12 hours before riding on them. So I'll do it at night. And when you wake up tomorrow, it should be about ready for a ride. Looks like now going to push that around, pull this down. What I'm doing here is moving the lights a little closer to the valve stem. So after I had them on, you just kind of hold one side, and then you're kind of pulling towards it, and it'll move it a little bit closer, and you'll see at the end. But once I put them on, now that's kind of, it'll adhere to the rim a little bit better there. But after I put them on, I had a little bit more room on one side and a little less on one, so it was still pliable enough to make the adjustments that I needed to at that point. So and then I'll give it one more little bead here. usually we'll take a piece of tape, piece of Scotch tape here. Just we'll wait till we do the second one here, so we're going to go ahead and do that too. Typically, I would do one strip at a time and secure them on both ends with the masking tape. But on this particular bike, we were doing the Dual Trons with both lights in the middle rather than one on each side of the lip of the rim. So we just went ahead and knocked them both out at the same time. Keep a paper towel handy so you can wipe off any excess that you get anywhere. Accidentally touch a spoke or something like that, it's easy to just wipe right off. Again, I'm just going to, and this time I'll show you guys the process of actually putting a bead of silicone sealant there along the rim so you can see that. Alright, that's ready. This actually is the hardest part. It's just getting in here and getting your hands in to put the silicone down. Just takes a couple minutes though. Just go slow and steady. Put a small thin bead. I would say the bead is about as thick as the it's maybe a 14 gauge spoke, which is what's on most of these e-bikes now. So this particular bike has slanted edges on the rim, which the lights don't adhere to well, because the LED lights like flat surface, they don't like being turned. So he wanted the Dual Trons, and luckily he had just enough room for two on the inside of this rim with the kind of lights that I use. So we're doing the tube kind instead of the adhesive backing. The tube is going to be waterproofed, kind of water resistant, and I'm not going to have to worry about dust or anything getting inside of it. It's pretty much tornado proof there. Your bike may have a rear rack on it, and as you can see, you just got to kind of squeeze your hands in between the spokes, in between these rack holders, the best you can. And again, just slow and steady. You've got quite a few minutes before you have to worry about this silicone curing on you. It's pretty forgiving. people have been asking me about videos for this, so I figured I would shoot one while I was in the middle of a project. This guy lives in East LA. Brought me 2 bikes. We did his first one, and then his girlfriend was like, "Oh no, he can't have a cooler bike than me." So now this is his girlfriend's bike. And I'm saying I pretty much only, at least for the last year or so, I've been doing e-bikes. I've only probably done about 4 non-e-bikes over the years. Most of the people that are investing the good money in the e-bikes want the good lights. And these are pretty much on there permanently once you put them on there. So you don't have to worry about anyone stealing your lights. These are not coming off. As you know, silicone just does not remove well, so once these are on there, they're on there. Now, some people may want the adhesive backing for that reason, but if you're going to be keeping this bike and want it to be a little bit more resistant to the elements, the tube lights are the way to go. Alright, so you can see thin bead all the way around. I'll try to get a little closer for you guys so you guys can see this. So a thin bead of silicone all the way around. You can see not very thick. So the silicone's on. Now, again, I just put a small little bead on the edge of that. And then just work your way around. Again, I just placed that bead in the middle of the strip, and as you press down, it'll hold it. I mean, this was just enough room for 2 strips on this bike. And then again, here on the edge, that one, put a thin little bead. I wait to the end to place that small bead of silicone on the end of the strips, so that way if you need to move the lights, you have enough time to do so without smearing silicone all over the rim. And then I just kind of go around and just press, pull this into each other. I'm just pulling these in so they're kind of butted up to each other real good and tight. If you found that maybe you've put too much silicone on, it's a good idea to have some Q-tips around because you can clean it up afterwards. You have a few minutes to do so before the silicone gets too cured. I usually will ship these off with a piece of tape. So this tape that I give you, and I just use it to kind of hold that down. As these set overnight, so there's a little bit of pressure on these. The ends you want to have down nice and firm. And they probably would be okay even if you didn't do this step, but I do it. So I'm showing you guys my process. Especially the side with the power coming in and out of it, because that's the part that you're going to be moving later to attach to the spokes and run the power and stuff like that. So once those are on, you're okay, but you want that part to really set really well. So here you go. You can see installed. There you go. Those are it. And I may do a video tomorrow to show the light installation. So this will be part 1 of the installation process.